Yeah, in the real-time scenario, you may have so you may have a more programming nodes and comms. So
No.
on time it will be more easier,
Yeah.
because since I've been doing this, for practicing for this one long time, so I know like how we map. So for you it's a bit confusing, but I'm just explaining anyway.
Yeah.
But in the real time, you will be having more easier for the LCTM was just mapping. So how we did with the vital signs, the same thing for the visit.
Mhm.
So I go take the LCTM program. Well, not this one, the program. Program. Vital signs. So this part, because we need to follow the same structure, okay,
Mhm.
every time for all the clinical, all the clinical project, like whole study. If it is screening, then visit num is 0. If it is period 1, it is visit num equal 1. And period 2 is visit num equal to 2. Okay. So, as I mentioned, the same thing here for the VS baseline flag. Okay. Here, because since here you have a time point.
Mhm.
So here, so the vital signs, you have a time point because you're taking the measurement in different time points. In the laboratory, for this particular raw data set, you don't have the time points. You have only visit wise. So the period 1,
Yeah.
okay, period 1 or screening maybe. So visit equal to, so period 1, period 2, and the screening. Okay, based on that one, we have given the if it is visit screening,
Mhm.
visit num equal to 0 and visit period 1. And so
Uh,
even for the LB, baseline flag. So laboratory baseline flag. So as I mentioned, the baseline flag is like whatever the data, whatever the value prior to the drug administration, and which is the closest and the latest value, we consider that one as our baseline flag. Okay,
Sorry,
because
can you tell me again once, please?
I have explained in the vital signs, right? So in the okay. So the what value we consider for the baseline value, basically
It's the
the
date
value
when.
before the drug administration. No? For example, if you do the laboratory test, okay, laboratory test. Um, so before, like for example, before giving the drug
Yeah.
we are going to conduct that administration, that value which is the closest nearest to the drug administration. Like
Yeah.
for example, 1 second, don't confusing. 1 hour. Okay, I'm talking about by time point. Okay, so it's a 1 hour, then 2 hour, then 3 hour. Okay, so the 1 hour would be the baseline value. Okay, baseline. If you do the test on this 1 hour for the particular subject, that is considered as a baseline value. And this one is drug administration. Like after drug administration, they conduct test. That is the values. Okay, those values. And after drug administration, they did again, uh, like maybe after 1 hour, they have done, they have done some results, some tests. So that is post baseline values. Post baseline values. So this is the difference. So now you are going to give the baseline flag. Okay, so you LB BLF. So this one. So either in 1 hour you may have 1.5, okay, 1.8. So they have conducted in different points. So the one is closest to the drug administration, that value would be considered the baseline flag equal to S. Okay. So even these are before drug administration, but these we won't consider. After this 1.8 hours, the patient directly taking, there is no any other test. Okay, directly taking the drug administration, and they will conduct after the drug administration test. Okay, so the value which is closest nearest to the drug administration value, drug administration time. This is, I'm calling a time point wise. So that value would be considered as a baseline flag for TS. So don't worry, we're gonna consider, we can discuss more in the atom levels. There we have to do like analysis things. So on that time you will be know more about this one information. So right now we just map it in the SDTM. We just mapping with the particular the variable. Okay. So here we have visits three visits, right? Screening, and period 1. So period 2. Okay. So here we don't have any kind of time points or anything. So the test was done in the screening that the values we consider as a baseline flag for the laboratory. And these two are for the drug administration, right? These two, the period 1 and period 2 on different visits. So we don't consider these values as the baseline values. So the values which are in the screening phase only we consider as a baseline value. Then how do you write the programming thing? So for example, if visit equal to screening and LBORES, the laboratory results not equal to missing, then LBDLFL equal to yes. Okay. And it's still confusing because here you have only 3 periods. There is no time point. So obviously the screening before the drug administration will be your baseline value equal to S. Okay, if you are still confusing, don't worry. In the real time you will have the derivations also here. So you directly copy and paste it there. Okay. But you have to understand the generalized, the knowledge where how do you map it the baseline flag then.
Yeah.
So LB fast is they ask you to put Y. Okay. So you just put LB fast equal to Y. Okay. So we have done these two variables, and this is a derived flag, and the toxicity flag and toxicity grade. I mean, sorry, not a flag, toxicity variables. So I have explained to you about the AE toxicity, right? CTCAE, the common terminology criteria for adverse events. They have provided the grades: grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4, grade 5 for mild, moderate. So the same thing in the laboratory also. We have the toxicity grades. So here is you mostly have 0, the CTCAE. They're also providing for the laboratories. So there is upper laboratory toxicity grades. So in the laboratory, you may have a difference. You have 0 to 4 levels only. Okay. So the 0 will be the mild and 1 will be the moderate, like that. And the 4 would be lethality or death. Okay. So basically, if your specification, for example, upper value, lower value, right? There is a lower value, upper value. So if your result is maybe like, for example, if you take hemoglobin, you have 18 to 14. Okay. So if the values have maybe 15, that value maybe you consider as a mild, the toxicity grade, they will be given as a 0. Okay, for this particular variable. If it is maybe if you have 25, if you have a 25, which is more, to worry about it. It's kind of, then you give like lethal, the toxicity grade was, that particular person have a severe condition, maybe 3 or something. So I'm just showing as an example. It's not the real kind of data, but I'm just showing as an example. So that kind of information you will be pop up here for the toxicity and the lab toxic girl. And so visit time visit we have done, and the visit DY planned study day visit. So which we do mostly in the subject visits. So right now we don't have that thing, so we just leave it. And the laboratory DTC, the same thing, VSDTC, how we do in the VSDTC, the same thing we do here. So we directly map to the date variable here. So LBDTC equal to so it is in a character and ISO 8601 format. Okay. So the laboratory data collection date. Okay, this is the date. So in the vital signs in the laboratory and ECG, most of the findings you will have collection date, not the start date or end date. So it is only collection date. Okay. In the adverse event, in the concomitant medication, you may have. So you may have. I'm sorry, this is character form. You may have start date and end date, but here you don't have. You have just collection date. So I say 601 PA dot. Okay. Since we don't have any kind of timing factors here, it's just date only. Okay. And I also changed to the numeric part because I need some like to do the calculation for the study date.
Yeah.
For that reason, we do in the numeric format. So LBTTC, so it's 601. Okay, so this part is done. And end date of the time of specimen collection. Okay, there is a end date also here for the laboratory, but for the vital signs only there is a collection date, I guess, but I'm not sure in the laboratory. But in the laboratory, yeah, you will have also this information. Let me check in the implementation guidelines. It's confusing. Okay, this is procedure. Procedure is a special purpose domain. General observation class. Sorry, general observation class. So the findings. So the laboratory test results. Yeah, end of the date, time of specimen collection, and this is permissible variable. Okay. Okay. Anyway, so we don't have that date. So let me check the other one. Maybe other. It's been a long time for that. For the findings domain, because this is from findings. I'll take the ECG results. Okay, so for ECG, just time point, reference time point. So only date of the collection. Okay, it depends on the domain. So here is just date of the collection in the finding for EG. So you don't have, so when you have vital signs EG, you have only collection date. In the laboratory, maybe you have end date also. But here we don't have any information. So the next one is LBDY. Okay, so LBDY, which is the study day. Okay, the study day calculation. So up to here, you understand, right? Hello.
Yeah. I'm following, Ali.
Okay. Sorry if I don't hear anything. Maybe you wait. I mean, something is disconnected or what. Okay, LB1. So we check if you have any errors there. So all the informations are here. Okay. So now we're gonna do with the same how we did with exposure data set. Maybe AE data set for, or maybe we can take the vital signs. So study day calculations. So I take all these things. Okay. Maybe the sequence also. Okay, so this is demographic. So you know like how we calculate the study day. So you're taking from the reference from the DM domain. So you take that part. And after that one, will be 1. Okay. And this is LB. So same thing, we merge, okay, LB1 and LB. And so you select like that and Control H. So instead of, so find text VS, instead of VX, LB, and replace in selection. Okay, so it does automatic. And thereafter, so this is LBDY. We have completed with this LBDY for the derive part. Then we have the sequence variable, the one we have in the header. Okay, so you sort. Okay, so here, how do you sort? You sort by study ID, and you don't need unique domain, unique subject ID. Visit wise, so visit. So we don't have any time points. Okay, so LBDTC. Okay, and LB tested. Okay, like that. Like collection date, visit wise, and the parameter wise. Okay, so I select this selection and Control H. So VS change to the replacement selection. Okay, so we have LB1, LB1, LB2. So we got everything. So match. Yeah, to here. So check if you have any errors. All right, so we don't have any errors. So you go check the data set. LB2. So LBDTN.
Is it because LBDTCN is not in the right format?
Okay, I understand now. So here is CN, right? CN. Because here we mentioned DTCN. In the wireless line, we mentioned something else there. So that's why. Okay. Now we have the DTCN and the LBDY and the sequence. Okay. For particular results. So I think is 74, I guess. 74 results. Let's check. Yeah, 84. 84. Okay, so thereafter you do the same thing how we do the vital sign part. Yeah, you keep all these things. No, we don't want this one, right? So we do like this. So. So data DM LB3 set DM LB2 and keep only those variables you require. Okay. So the only those variables required you mapped in your the programming that well that those ones you have to give it. Well, I can remove it a second. I want to. Okay, so this is interesting. No, I don't know. I don't remember exactly. Okay, like that. So LBDY. Okay, so the remaining variables, these are like in the time point wise. Sometimes you do like, you know, like if we have ended value, so you can do ended also, so, but we don't have that one, so that value we don't just consider as permissible. And this is a time point in the numeric format, just like in the vital signs time point numeric format, those ones. Time point reference, so is there any reference for that particular time point, so that reference, and is there any date and time for the reference, so that information. So here is should be in the ISO 8601 format, and obviously these are permissible variables. Okay, so after this one, you just run. So you're keeping the required variables only. Okay. Okay. So the same thing how we did, you know, initially. Okay. Okay. So okay. So you copy from your specification. Okay.
I think you can press Control and select everything at a time, Ali.
Control and select it. Yeah, you can do like that also. But anyways, just few things.
Yeah, that's okay.
Let me try. Yeah. Something. Okay, so okay, control.
Oh, sequence number. You forgot sequence.
Okay, something's wrong here. Okay, up to here. Take this one. So control, select this one. No, it doesn't work. Okay, so last one, this two.
Wait.
Okay. It's okay, right?
Yeah.
All right. So select Control H. That's all. You select Control H. That's all. So you do the same thing here also. Control H. That's all. Okay. So like that, this works. Remove the comma.
There's some.
LB. So you take this one from LB3. Okay. So after this one, you put LB, final LB, and this is laboratory. So you do the from implementation guideline, right? So
Yeah.
so lab, then XPT file LB, LB, LB. Reference something is wrong here. Characteristics. Okay. Yeah, that's good. So you select all of them. Okay, that's good. So this is our final data set in SDTM. So we're gonna continue from tomorrow from Adam, okay? So if you work on practice on these ones, and if you so you will be like more confident on
Yeah.
so all the SDTM levels. So I'm explaining like I taking like one data set on each classification.
Yeah.
So that one is special purpose domain and one is event, and one is like the interventions and the findings, two domains.
Yeah.
So if you do exposure, you can do concomitant medication, so the same structure. If you do AE, you can do like clinical events, disposition events.
Yeah.
All those things will be easier. And if you do some findings domain, you will be do other things, the ECH, procedure, substance use, the PK, PC, all those things you will be able to do it the SDTM. So if you do one supplementary DM, you can do other supplementary DM, EX, or the AE. So basically you will have the same thing, that you have the same variables and you do the same kind of derivation.
Yeah.
So and then the SDTM, so the basically SDTM, obviously you will have implementation guidelines, you will have specification and the CRF, annotate CRF, and you will also have the raw data set and the CDM variables. So based on those ones, you can be able to mapping, and for the QC part also the same thing. The QC part, he won't do these things. The attributes part he won't do. He just complete up to here in the data part, and you can cross compare in case if they wants to go for the level 3 or level, but most of the time what happens when you finish SDTM domains, they do reprocessing in the Pinnacle 21 directly there.
Okay.
So by using the implementation guideline, cross comparing with the series rules, so they give any kind of issues and errors directly as a kind of specification. But I will explain you that one also in one class for the Pinnacle 21 and the submission thing. Okay.
Okay.
So tomorrow we're going to talk about atoms. So we have I guess for atom it won't. So we are gonna cover like ADSL, ADVS, the same thing. One findings, one BDS structure, one subject level information, and one occurrence data structures like ADA, like special purpose. So the same structure will be in the other domains will be applicable. So these are the four we'll be covering. Okay. So it might take 1 week to complete, and the TFLs we have like 4 tables, 4 listings, and 2 figures.
Okay.
Okay, so don't worry, we will be finished in like 10 or 15 days. So
yeah.
The SDTM, because we started when we started on 6th, right? 6th, so almost like 16, 14, almost like 11 classes. Okay, so this might be finished now. ADSL is gonna take 2-3 classes because it's quite big one, and the remaining will be finished faster. I'll finish. Okay. All right, Maradi, we'll connect tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, bye.
And please send the videos.
Yeah. I'll send you right away.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye.